latest on what is now going on with our weather impact alert. So let me go ahead and bring myself up on here, and I'm going to give you the latest on our weather impact alert that's coming in on Friday. For now, don't have to worry about any of this, but want to give you, of course, the heads up well ahead of time of the changes that are on the way. Throughout the day today, plenty of sunshine, but as we head into Friday, that's when we're going to be starting to see a wintry system impacting our area, possibly bringing in snow, ice, and even a mix of rainfall across the area. We do have a weather impact alert as a result for Friday that's going to span from the very early morning hours all the way into the early afternoon. Slick travel is going to be possible. You're going to want to stay with us for the upcoming updates. So let's dive on into the forecast. Main points, dry for the day today as well as into the day tomorrow. Don't have to worry about any of this. Again, this is just for Friday that we're really going to be watching for that rain, snow, and ice kind of mix. It's going to make for some messy travel possible as we step into Friday morning. So on the way to work, gonna need to keep a close eye on any slick spots on the roads and maybe give yourself some extra time to travel too. Yesterday's cold front has swept through the area. High pressure is working to build in for the day today as well as into Thursday. What's that going to do? Well, that's going to keep us nice and dry. Sunshine is finally back after a gloomy day just yesterday. With cold air in place, moisture is going to start to sweep in. You'll notice this with this cold front that's going to be moving in from our north. That's what's going to introduce the moisture that we need to see some possible snow, sleet, or ice, or even just regular rainfall across the area. And I'm going to go back a couple of clicks just to kind of show you the approach of the front. Really, some of our area could see right at around freezing temperatures or just below that morning we currently have as a forecast, which would indicate that snow could make it all the way down to the surface, and it could actually make for some light accumulations. Now, it's hard to say exactly where the line is going to fall in terms of snow versus sleet and ice, but you'll notice as we head into the day Friday, it's all going to be dependent on temperatures, of course. We do have warmer air that's going to kind of move into the atmosphere later on, and with that warmer air into the morning, that's going to create the opportunity for, instead of snow, it'd be more like sleet or freezing rain, the rain that freezes right when it makes contact with the surface. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on this system into Friday. It really starts out really after midnight on Thursday night is when we start to really track this. It is going to continue all the way through early Friday morning as the front moves through. Then by around 1 or 2 o'clock, really starting to push out. But by that point, of course, we'll be above freezing, likely just seeing cold rainfall across the area. As for the day today, the next few hours, mid to upper 40s, plenty of sunshine on the way. Tonight, we're going to be back in the upper 20s, lower 30s. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back into the 50s, but more clouds are starting to build in ahead of this wintry system that we're keeping an eye on. So this is what we're watching, really. We have a good amount of cold air already kind of sitting in place across the region. Moisture's coming in along that front, like I showed you, and that's what's going to introduce the threat of snow and possibly an icy mix. And again, this timeline, for those of you just joining us, is going to be early Friday morning through around midday. So work commutes, especially, are really what I'm most concerned about right now. Any sort of travel in the early morning hours, even just after midnight into early Friday morning, that's when you're going to have to really be careful. As of now, again, some models are showing that we're mainly just going to see a mix. Other models continue to show that we could see up to around half an inch of snow or so, and some northernmost counties could see up to a snow. And I'll show you each of those models. We'll break it down for you, of course, here in the next couple minutes too. But this is just kind of the weather setup right now that we have. We have the cold air here. That moisture is going to be moving in, and it is looking more likely that we are going to be seeing some sort of mix across our area, if not a little bit of accumulation as well. So what exactly is going to fall? And we'll continue to adjust this map over the next couple of days as we close in and kind of iron out the finer details of this system and what exactly who is going to get what and where and who and when, I should say. So what exactly is going to fall? Well, I would expect, as temperatures are expected to stay above freezing well south of our area, that's going to be mainly just rain. But as you start to work in, of course, the freezing temperatures that we're expecting, that's when we could see that snow kind of start to mix in with a little bit more sleet and ice across the Piedmont. mainly going to be seeing on the northern edge here of our market area or along the state lines too for Stoke, Surrey, as well as in Yadkin or Yadkin, Wilkes, and also in Allegheny. That's the best opportunity for snow, as well as over in higher elevations in the North Carolina mountains that, of course, are going to see higher amounts. But for now, again, it does look pretty promising that we are going to see something across the region. We do have a couple models like this one that are a little bit more aggressive with snowfall. If this ends up panning out, we could see up to around an inch or so across the area, which should honestly be pretty crazy and rare for early December, right? But, you know, it's that time of year. We're getting closer and closer to winter. But notice later into the morning, starting to become a little bit more of an icy mix. That's due to the fact that temperatures, we are expecting to get above freezing. Not much. It's still going to be a very cold day. I really don't think highs are going to get out of the middle 30s for Friday afternoon. So despite us getting above freezing, it's still going to be a raw, very cold day. You're going to want to make sure that you have the layers. So here's one of our many models that are kind of projecting what we could get across the Piedmont throughout this possible snow, ice, sleet kind of event, right? Snow potential from this model particularly showing up to around an inch or so. And I'm kind of erring more so toward this model in regards to what I think is going to happen. Other models show a little bit more, like here the European model wants to show us up to around an inch, maybe up to around 2 inches for our friends in northernmost counties over toward Rockingham, Stokes, Surrey, Allegheny, and also in Wilkes. This could most certainly happen if we're able to see freezing temperatures for a longer period of time into the morning hours. But again, all of this to say, we don't know for certain right now, and we're continuing to iron out details, but we could see up to around half an inch, maybe an inch or so. This is just another model versus a different one. This one didn't have much this morning. Now it's starting to have a little bit more across the area in regards to potential snowfall between half an inch up to around an inch, but only has 0.1 inches, a tenth of an inch of snowfall in Greensboro, which was certainly different from those other two models that I just showed you. So there is a little bit of more agreement over the last couple of days, and especially today, that there is likely going to be some sort of wintry weather across our area. It's just hard to nail down exactly how much, but what we do know is that it's more likely for northernmost counties as well as for higher elevations over toward the mountains. We still could have some light accumulations here, though, really up to around half an inch or so, and wouldn't surprise me if we actually do end up getting to an inch with temperatures remaining below freezing throughout the morning. So go ahead and make travel plans, or lack thereof travel plans. You're going to want to make sure you're very careful on the roadways in that period Friday morning on the way to work. Anything after midnight Thursday night into Friday morning and early afternoon, that's when you really need to pay close attention. As for the day today, again, not a concern for us. It's a beautiful day, only a couple of clouds, plenty of sunshine. Temperatures are finally starting to make it out of the 30s here at 11:18. We're at 39 in Greensboro, 41 in Burlington, 40 in Winston-Salem. This morning we actually crept all the way down into the 20s. Let's go to our lows for the day today. 27 in Greensboro, 25 in Burlington and in Yanceyville. Remember, our averages for this time of year typically in the middle 30s, and we've been below average, unseasonably chilly over the last several days, and you can expect that to continue for this afternoon. Despite the sunshine, I'm only expecting highs to be back in the mid to upper 40s. So all of this, of course, is ahead of that wintry weather threat that's on the way later into the week on Friday. Tonight is going to be a clear and cold one. Again, sunset, early, one of the earliest ones here at just after 5 o'clock. Winds are going to be nice and they're going to be calm. Tomorrow, just a touch warmer, back in the lower 50s. But remember, this time of year, we're typically in the mid to upper 50s for highs. So we've been sitting kind of on this cold trend, and we're going to stay on it here over the next